All right. Call the meeting in order of Planning Commission. I'm John Van Heist, the chair. Sitting next to me is Scott Dale, Mike Bell, Linda Taylor, and there's John Mara down there. So we got no alternates tonight,
No?
but we do have a full commission. All right. Oh, we're out of, oh, okay, fine. We were supposed to have an executive session tonight, but I understand that was going to be postponed.
Yes, we're gonna take a quick trip to zoning next week, and we'll back to see you right after that, hopefully.
Okay, fine. You're going to talk to zoning first. Okay, fine. So we're going to move on to item number 3, approval of minutes of previous meeting. Any corrections, additions, changes people want to make? I thought it was fine as submitted. Somebody want to make a motion to accept the minutes as submitted?
I'll make a motion to accept.
John made that motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Got a second from Linda. All those in favor? Aye.
Mike, are you abstaining?
Mike-
Yes,
Mike
I wasn't
abstains.
here for the last
Roger,
one.
thank you.
All right. Takes care of that one. Okay, next item is item number 4, old report requested by zoning commission per Connecticut State Statute 124-8A-3A. It's concerning 202 Candlewood Lake Road, zoning application Z2273 for zone change from residential R40 to marine or commercial zone MC. Okay. We got a lot of material that was submitted for this commission to consider. Number 1, this is not the public hearing for this meeting, so I'm not going to entertain anything from the audience at this time. What this is a request from zoning to see whether this book here, which is our plan of conservation and development, is compatible with the request of the zone change. This is available for anybody who wants to know. It's been on the town website now for probably 5 or 6 years. It was done in 2015. But if you want to read what's in the plan of the conservation and development, you can find it on the town's website. It's been there for years. All right. Now, in a quick perusal of a note that came in 2 hours before this meeting, which was way, way too late for us to consider, we request that our materials be available at the time the agenda is going to be set. The agenda for this meeting is usually set on a Tuesday before Thursday. We asked the neighbor who was got some issues to submit their packet of information by the 30th of January, which packets were received, and we got packets from the applicant also on the 30th. We need the 3 days to review stuff, okay? On the letter we received, I think I need to talk to our town council on several of the points that were brought up. Also, if indeed you are speaking of how the zone is either in favor or we should look affirmatively based on this book or negatively based on this book, please refer to the section that you're going to be referring to in here so that we know where you're looking at in the plan of development, so that we can comment and have that. Because right now, the topic that is being discussed in the note that I received 2 hours ago, I don't believe it's even discussed in the plan of development. Not in the format that it's been discussed there. So, at this point, zoning is requesting, their public hearing is on the March 9th. Our next meeting is March 2nd. I'm proposing that we table this until the March 2nd meeting and discuss that when we have time to consider some of this other material that just came in. How's the commission feel about that? Any comments?
I could use a few more days to look this over.
You need more time. Thank you, John. Michael? Okay.
Same here.
All right,
So
so
it makes-
everybody understands, we would like to have the material in basically at the end of March, the Monday, so that we have sufficient time to digest it and have, if we need to get counsel or something else, we have time to do it. Okay, I will entertain a motion to table item 4A to our March 2nd meeting.
I make a motion to table item 4A.
Not gonna take any comments, sir?
This is not a public hearing.
Well, the statute requires you to have a report in 35 days before the zoning.
No, sir, it doesn't. It requires that the commission be given the zoning application and that the request be made to the planning commission 35 days in advance of the
Public hearing.
public hearing. It doesn't require that they even deliver a decision at all. Thank you.
Thank you. So we have a vote, right? No, we're ready for the vote. We got the motion. Did somebody second it?
I'll second it.
Michael seconded it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
I'm on the fence.
All right. Next item on the business is 133 North Lake Shore Drive and 131, a lot line merger. Charles Tingley,
Yes.
you want to come in and show us what you're doing?
Well, I actually don't have anything, you guys.
You got it right there. You come down. We won't bite you.
So,
You own both pieces of land from what I
Yes,
can see.
Repeat.
and what we did several years ago, almost 20, we put an addition on the house.
Ah,
At
okay.
that time, the leach field back here started doing what leach fields have a tendency to do and started filling up. So we turned this into our leach field.
Okay,
I was told after, when I was doing this, that actually I wasn't actually doing this, it was my father who was doing this.
Oh,
So technically, I'm righting a wrong by wanting to merge the lots. So
Okay.
all I would like to do, since this is no longer a buildable lot, is just combine the two into one.
okay, so you own this,
Yes, sir. And I own
and
that.
this lot, actually, the house touched on the border?
Yeah, no, well, the house used to be, it stopped here.
Yeah, but how'd you get that one in past zoning? No separation from the lot line to that?
That's our zoning.
I thought
Zoning, you got a problem somewhere?
I know, I thought that was interesting.
Holy cow, I don't know how you pulled that one off.
I do not.
Well, that must have been way before your time and my time, right?
Well, it was when the original house was built, there were two separate lots. My
Yeah.
father purchased this lot after he purchased this house.
Okay.
So no one could build next to him.
All right,
And then he put the
all right.
addition on, so I'm not quite sure how he managed to do that, but
Okay.
Well, I guess the abutter didn't object.
Questions for the applicant?
Saw that coming.
Questions
You
for
already
the
Has
applicant?
has the sanitarium checked the, all the leach
And-
fields and everything and said it's okay?
yeah, I
You-
discussed
you
it.
gotta,
Yeah, I discussed it, he said it wasn't required,
oh, okay.
but yeah, it's.
But he said everything was
Everything was
okay, it was
fine,
up to
yes.
code and everything?
Yes,
That's all.
Okay.
And you already own the piece of property,
Yes.
correct?
owns the
Can I
property.
also ask how big will the lot be now when it's combined? Is it on that map?
That's a good question.
Yeah, it's 2.22 acres or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds about right. It's,
.336 acres.
Oh, thank you.
See you in March, Neil.
See you, thank you.
Okay, thanks for coming out. Okay, yeah, all right, this is, I was wondering what that was there for, was that, all right. Anybody ask questions? Everybody asked their questions?
Good.
How do we feel about merging this thing, guys? This is a merger, right?
I think it's
okay
a
with
good idea.
Well, you know, what,
Otherwise, they're gonna come along and make them
otherwise,
take
one of
that
these
part of the
days,
house
the
off.
zoning commission may come out and say you don't have a
Right.
proper thing there.
No, they will, and there goes their whole
Then,
addition, bye-bye.
then they'll ask you to take off that addition.
I
That would be
say,
bad, I actually sleep in that part of the house.
you'll be sleeping outside now.
Not tomorrow.
So how do we feel about this merger, guys?
I say we do it, yeah, I make a motion.
I don't see
Somebody
any
gonna make a
problem with
motion
I
to
make a
approve that?
motion, we approve the merger
I
of the two
second it.
lots to one.
Somebody gonna make a motion? You can make a
Make a
motion
motion.
there, John, to approve that merger?
I
did.
mo-
Linda
he
did,
seconded-
I seconded
We
it.
did.
You second it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I'm gonna read something
Yeah,
to
you
you
have to
because
listen
it's
to
our
this.
policy, okay? It's from our former town attorney. When you do a lot line merger, when we approve such a merger, there should be a condition upon the fact that the chairman will not sign the Mylar map. You got a Mylar on that someplace, right? Or you- Okay. Well, it won't come legal until you file the Mylar with the town clerk. Will not sign the Mylar map until the applicant provides the original merger deed, properly prepared and signed conveyance tax form, and the Mylar and check to cover the cost of recording both the deed and the Mylar and the Brookfield land records. So those are the things that you have to do to complete the job,
Okay.
okay? You got our approval, now you got,
Get
and
the
I will,
Mylar and the deed.
yeah, you get that Mylar in here and make sure, it looks like you got your deeds and.
Yes, the deeds are all set.
I'm not sure whether the conveyance tax is supposed to be taken care of or not, but you can look into that. They'll tell you in the town clerk's office whether you got enough. Anyhow, so that's it.
Okay, so I just need the Mylar map. We have the deed,
Mylar
so-
map and, well, I told you what you need.
Yep.
Mylar, check to cover the cost of recording both the deed and the Mylar, okay? Into the Brookfield land records. And then you're all set.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Then you can sleep with the knowledge that
Right,
the zoning commission won't come along and
That your bed
say,
is
take
safe."
down that bed.
it could have been, it's on the cusp there, you know.
It's been that way for almost 20 years. I'm not quite sure how we pulled it off, but I know we had all the permits. so-
You're probably not alone in
You
the
know.
town of Brookfield.
You're probably pretty lucky that nobody, none of your neighbors called and said, hey, this guy's, because if you had a neighbor who was a little upset with you guys,
No, the nice part is a lot of summer homes. For the neighbor who lives next to me on the other side, I haven't seen in almost a year, so.
oh,
Yeah.
there you go. You got it made.
Plus, you're just expanding into your own lot anyway.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
Yeah.
not
Okay.
taking over anybody else's.
Thank you very much.
thank you.
You're quite welcome.
I
Good
know.
luck. And Phil, you can do that Mylar anytime. I'm usually in town, so I usually sign them the same day they come in.
Okay, great. Thank you
All
very
right,
much.
thank you. All right, I'd like to make a motion to move to item number 7. Other business proper, A, election of officers. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Done.
Okay. Let us now do the fateful thing that we have to do. Every February, we have an election in this division. The slate has been set. Michael, you missed the dance that Linda
He-
and
no,
Scott
No, he was offered,
No, I was
he
off.
was offered.
did.
I still have to, you know,
get my footing as being a secretary, so.
Okay, that's fine. No
Yeah.
problem.
Scott,
Jump
don't
Okay,
try
now-
that.
We have nominees, John Van Hines, Chairman, Scott Dale, Vice Chairman, Michael DeVal, Secretary. I'll entertain the election of that slate in signifying by aye, or if you're against it, you can either abstain or say no. All those in favor of that slate, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? You got a year more of this wonderful, wonderful job and the dancing that we do.
I thought we were gonna have, all the people here, there's gonna be a lot of people
Yeah,
coming up.
I thought it was gonna be a little different.
I know.
We're now ready for minutes of other, well, no, we're not. Let's go back. Yeah, we're gonna do item number 6 last. We'll do let's move to item number 8. Correspondence of other commissions. And we got, let's see,
Is mine different than everybody else? Mine says
Mine's in different order.
Yeah, they have been in discussion.
somewhere
But
here. I
in the
got
wrong
my-
place.
seven.
So,
I even made notes here, so let me find them.
I'm not going crazy.
Too much paper for this meeting.
there was
guys.
a lot of paper, and we gotta save the paper.
Okay, this is 202 Candlewood. All we did was punt for a couple weeks, so still gotta pace it somewhere. I'll get there in a second, guys. I'm just moving paper right now. Here we are, zoning commission minutes. All right. They had a public hearing about the house of worship parish things, and they wanted we discussed that at our last meeting, and we also were asked to provide an opinion, which we did. We said that the zone change was consistent with the plan of conservation and development. And they went along, and I believe they approved it.
No, sir, they did not.
No, they didn't. No, it's a motion to continue.
Yes,
Motion to continue. And they're gonna, well, they should have discussed it last week on the 26th. Okay. And the rest of their minutes were pretty same, okay. 202 Candlewood Lake Road, they also talked about. Looks like they're not gonna take any action until the planning commission
Till
has
we
made a
do.
referral.
Yeah.
We'll try to make a referral at the next meeting, one way or the other. Hopefully, we won't be getting late minute surprises, so that we can thoroughly evaluate this. Okay. Next item on the agenda there is the Wetlands Commission, Inland Wetlands. They held their meeting on the 23rd, and it was pretty much business as usual, mostly residential stuff that we're not really involved with. So I would call that sort of a business as usual for wetlands on that meeting. And we had the Brookfield Charter Review Vision Committee, and the minutes are sort of on the lean side, the side. And really nothing substantive that we can talk about. As I can see, there's no discussion about the possible merger of our committee with zoning. And they had another meeting on the 30th, which you didn't get that copy yet. I guess that's all the minutes. So now, make a motion to go to item number 6.
Motion to move to item 6.
Second on that?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Informal discussion. All right. This evening, I sat through the first meeting of the University of Connecticut's CLEAR program, because we have to get ourselves qualified and trained. They have a year to do it. Got it by April of next 2024, I believe. However, they have a meeting, which I tried to tell you guys to sit into, and they have 3 of them. And those 3 should be sufficient for us to be trained as land use people. The meeting I sat in tonight was called Bias, Predetermination, and Conflict. It's presented by an attorney. It was fairly interesting. He had a lot of case studies there, and they had it interactive in the sense that they would ask questions and they gave you 4 multi-choice answers, and you had to submit your answer, and then took a look at the group and said, oh, here you guys were right, no, you guys missed this point, and
I attended it as well.
you attended
I
it
did,
as
yes.
well. Good. But in case you haven't, look up Rochelle's note of a couple weeks ago. The information about the sessions are there. They're every Thursday. And they conclude in February. The Thursday, the 2nd, no, that was today, the 9th and the 16th, from 4 to 5:30. Now, they are recording these sessions. And if you go into that website, they were saying, you can probably get somewhere they have, says land use or land.
They also said that if you attended, they'll be forwarding a copy of it as well.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what did they say?
If you attended it, they'll be forwarding a copy of the presentation as well.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah.
But anyhow, you can go on and register on it. It was pretty easy to register, very simple, so anyhow. It's going to be important if you want to stay on in the land use area. Got to get your training. It's now a state law, okay?
Mr. Chairman, with regard to that, if I can ask the commissioners when they do take these classes, and, just, I need to make note, because I have to report to the state,
Okay,
which
well, you
which
got
numbers.
me and Scott
Yep.
attended today's session,
Yep,
Zoom meeting.
and we're scheduled for the
Yeah,
next
it's
2.
an hour-and-a-half
Yeah.
Zoom meeting.
Hour
As
and
soon
a
as
half,
scheduled,
4
I
to
figured
5:30.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah.
if you can't make the 4 to 5:30, if you go out there and hit, I guess it's land, they will have copies. This thing was recorded, so you can watch the videotape at your leisure. So if you want to do it at 9 o'clock at night, you can do it at 9 o'clock at night. That will help you go to sleep.
I need something.
I thought it was worthwhile.
No,
you know.
actually, I thought it was pretty decent.
Yeah, I thought it was worthwhile.
I've been through that. There's been some of these things that are really snooze fests.
Mm-hmm.
This was pretty good.
What stuck out that you remember about it?
Just providing, it's a lot of things that you kind of think you know, you feel, but it provides some background and substance as to what
Yeah.
they are. I
Well,
thought,
you may want to, whether you got a conflict, whether you were, should it be,
conflict of interest, yeah.
should you excuse yourself from mission, okay? And go through cases where you should and shouldn't. and
Okay, like if it's your
Things like
brother
that,
coming,
you know.
somebody, a family member or something like coming before, and you shouldn't really.
And,
hold on.
you know-
Yeah, they'll
So
provide
just like-
examples.
So it's like an ethics class.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like an ethics
In a
class.
sense, but,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it's like an ethics class.
I
Very
thought some of the
simplified,
questions.
but actually, it's really simplified over,
And Rochelle, you might have they offer these courses later, like for credit?
yeah,
You know,
and I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's honor system, is it not? In other
it's
words-
honor system right
Yeah,
now.
they did say that.
So.
It's
you
an
know,
hour and a half, you gotta have 4 hours altogether, so you're stuck because I got 4.5 hours worth of classes, guys,
But you can watch them, as the chairman said, because
At your
they're,
leisure.
they're
'Cause,
online.
like, today I didn't get I came directly from work to here.
Yeah, that's
Stanford,
what,
so.
You can watch them online at your leisure.
Nobody is slapping your hand, John.
Well, I mean, the state's requiring it, so I don't want to be in default of anything that
No,
the
you,
state's
you
requiring.
got a year to do this.
Okay. I might be able to stay
April
4 hours out of the
24th.
year.
Yeah, I see
I
the,
know.
I'm sure,
Barely, right?
I'm sure if we're getting close to that time frame,
I did think that some of the
Podcast,
questions
yeah.
they asked could have used a little more context, you know?
Yeah, they-
One line, and you have to make
like
a
a
judgment
general
on it, they should provide more context. But otherwise, that was my own.
otherwise it was pretty good.
Yeah, otherwise I thought it was.
It wasn't, like I said, I've been
Is
through some that
informal
have
discussion
reached
usually
this. This
recorded?
wasn't bad.
Yeah, I do a lot of this kind of thing.
That's all I
Way
had,
professional,
that's all I
so.
had for informal discussion. Anybody else have anything for informal discussion?
I do.
Okay.
Yes, so, mid-December, you guys have probably heard this, but the I-84 project, have you heard anything about this? So, DOT is soliciting feedback on different aspects of improvements they want to do on Interstate 84, particularly in the Danbury area. So, for example, where exits 3 and 4 are, that's a bit of a mess there.
Yes, it is.
Whether or not they want to add exit ramps, you know, that make access to the hospital easier, that kind of thing. A whole bunch of different, what they call concepts. Some are probably more practical and likely than others. One I know has digging a tunnel almost through my mother's backyard in Danbury, which is unlikely. But the one that I have focused in on is one of my biggest pet peeves out there is the bumper-to-bumper traffic that almost everybody in Brookfield is familiar with, which is that Super 7 merge into Interstate 84, okay? Going south 7 into, merging into 84 east.
Yes.
And if you're a
East
commuter.
Definitely.
East or
West, excuse me, west.
West, okay.
84, 7 south into 84 west, okay?
Okay.
two Leonard's dip, or you come on from the other side, you
Yeah,
see
that's-
that
Yeah.
bottleneck
Well,
there,
the worst
yeah.
bridge, I think you were right about when you said east, that, going across that bridge, then trying to get east.
Oh, that's
of-
impossible.
That's another one,
That's
yeah.
worse,
another
that's the worst.
beauty.
Yeah,
That's very bad.
Well, like you said,
Yep.
east, and then trying to get off at exit 4 if you're coming.
well, that's another one, yeah.
And then you gotta cut across the Lake Avenue.
Right.
That's tough for somebody that, you know, you really don't know where
So
you're at. And
what's-
even when you know
what
where
is your
you're
point,
at, you're
Scott?
at-
So the DOT is asking for feedback, and residents can attend the session as I did in Danbury, and you can, you know, view everything that they're doing there. But there's the one concept they have, which is concept 10, which is the one that pertains most directly to that Super 7 merge into 84 West, in which everybody has sat in that traffic, even on weekends, heavy shopping weekends.
Oh,
People are, it's not just a, you know, a rush hour thing, you know? So my feeling is that, you know, they should, if they're asking for feedback, let's give it to them, right? You gotta be in it to win it. It doesn't mean if we provide all this feedback, it's gonna happen overnight, but why not get involved? And my thought is that as a planning commission, we could draft some sort of letter or something showing that we support this concept 10, okay? To let them know that we're
Okay,
aware of it.
How
we
do I
wanna push
see
it.
concept 10?
It's the I-84 Danbury website. I can forward that to you, or I
Yeah.
can send it to everybody.
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah, if you could
I
send
would,
it
I
out,
would have
that
had
would
all
be
this, but I was reading material all
Yeah.
Yes.
You mean you were reading this stuff? I was reading material too.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us were.
Oh, yeah.
And travel for
However,
work, yeah.
the good news is you don't have to reread it for the
Yeah,
next
but-
meeting.
Yeah,
Unless
we
there's
will,
new
because they'll
material.
forget it by then.
Well,
So anyway, that's my thought. I'd like, if
That's
everybody
why I like it
agrees.
fresh.
no, because I'm trying to get them to tell me why I should do this. Or you missed that point.
If
Why
I
you
could,
should
if I
change
could,
it
if I could,
to-
if I could just finish this. My point is that I'd like to have a letter that we put together, okay, as a planning commission, saying that we as a planning commission, you know, support concept 10, you know, and so forth.
No, I think
Um,
that's a very appropriate thing for our board to do.
And I think it
Really
affects
do.
everybody, you know? It affects us
That's
all.
the reason why I asked where we
Mhm.
can do it, and if you feel so inclined that you want to write a letter, that
No problem.
Yeah, you want to draft
I
that
have no
letter,
problem
we
with that.
can-
Yeah.
more than willing to.
I'll put it
Okay.
on the agenda for the next meeting.
Mhm.
When is the public comment session?
It's still open right now, but you can, like, if you're, any resident can go to their website and put thumbs up, thumbs down on certain
Right.
concepts. The 10 is the one that most pertains to, as far as I'm
Right.
concerned, to Brookfield and that merge that
Right.
everybody
But
sits
so
in.
I'm just curious, will we have enough time if we put this on, if
Yes.
you write the draft?
Yes.
Put it on the agenda for the next meeting, will that give you enough time?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Do
Yes,
they
we
have
do.
in-person, any in-person stuff going on where they're
Yeah.
discussing this?
I contacted DOT just to ask them about this. They're gonna have more, another session in Danbury or somewhere in the region in the coming months, and they'll have it on their website. I'll send you that information, or
Okay.
everybody that information,
Great.
okay? So,
All
but
right.
just one other point I didn't mention is that when I went to that public meeting, they had, charts of the various concepts, and I had kind of been following it, and I was like, I wanna see what's going on with the 10, I know that affects us. They didn't have it listed. They had already considered it to be maybe somewhat redundant, or, maybe it was falling off the scale, because don't forget, you're competing with all these other things that affect Danbury and everything else. So that's why I think it's important for Brookfield to stand up and say, hey, this is important to us.
Yeah, okay.
Don't let it fall to the wayside.
All right, super. I think that's
I
great.
have a question, if I may. Every time we have a lot line approval, we read that letter from the attorney.
Yeah,
Does that go to the person once they get the approval? Because, I mean, they hear a lot, John's reading it and everything, and I don't capture it all in the minutes. I just didn't know, do they get that as far
Yeah,
as?
we contact them when the meeting, the next day.
Okay.
Usually the next day. As part of the online process, they will have to, go through the
Okay.
next steps, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm
It's
just
like-
alerting him.
Yeah, he looked like a deer in the headlights, like, okay,
Well, no. That was a relatively simple one.
Yeah, no, we definitely contact him, to, let him know
Mm.
what he has to do now.
Any other informal discussion?
I had a question about the, I don't know if it was part of the planning commission last meeting, about the broadband that Christine was talking about, that there was,
Oh, the
I guess,
5G
an
tower?
information session about it. I just wondered if anybody knew, if broadband does come to Brookfield, will we get another cable provider instead of just Spectrum? I mean, broadband, because then you're gonna have,
So, I don't know if you
There's
know,
several cable
I know.
providers in Brookfield
Yeah.
already. Spectrum and
Frontier,
Yeah.
and Comcast. I mean,
don't you have Frontier?
we only have Spectrum
No,
on
I
our
think we
side.
only
It's
have-
not,
I
it's
think
not
there's
all
only
through
one.
Brookfield, it's in
no,
different
Frontier is
sections.
also here.
Yeah,
That's the phone line.
Right.
So,
I got rid of
Yeah.
Frontier and went to
Yeah.
Spectrum.
we, the town of Brookfield has been, I don't know if you know this part of it, but we've been selected for a feasibility study for broadband.
Right, that's what I was
Okay,
reading,
so
yeah.
that's what you're referring
Right.
to, yeah, so.
I just wondered if anybody knew if there was broadband, maybe they would, where I live, it's only Spectrum, there is no other, you're stuck with them, that's it.
Didn't,
Unless you
Alan,
get,
didn't
unless you
Alan
get
do a big
Dish.
report or something?
yeah, I bet it.
A while back?
Alan.
With
Oh, well.
broadband, they
Oh,
can
yeah,
fit a lot
he
more,
did, but that was
a lot
more
more.
high frequency
on it.
stuff.
I see. Is it- Vaguely remember that, yeah.
I was just curious if it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 5G.
Because they kind of got a monopoly on everything on my side of the
Alerting
neighborhood,
people
there's,
to what
there's
the
only
dynamic
Spectrum, that's it,
ranges were.
Okay.
unless you get a Dish and.
Anything else?
I have a question.
Yes, John.
This 5G tower that everybody's talking about, they're trying to bring in here.
Mhm.
Does that come before us at all, or that's just,
No, it didn't come before us, but it doesn't make any difference what we say, whether we loved it or hated it. Doesn't, and in fact, I think the Board of Selectmen said they didn't like it. The state siting council, they tell you where it's gonna be. The state dictates it. We don't.
Oh, so
All we
it
can
doesn't
say
matter
is,
town or
they can hear our objections, and if, I believe if it's something like a health and safety issue, really, something like that, they may consider moving it to someplace else.
They're trying to abolish that sitting
Yeah.
commission, that sitting council.
Well, it's like the windmills and the whales going on right now,
yeah,
killing whales.
there's, 9 or 11 have washed up on the shores in Long Island?
Anything else? All right, Linda, make your motion.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Get a second? Vince?
John,
I
always
guess
says
we're
we're
gonna
here.
adjourn. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye?
All right.